makes good rope.
It's not very long, but hell of a good rope.
Well, you got to weave them together, right?
Mm. Just first you got to catch how many mink to make a rope?
Quite a few, because the pubic region of a mink is
pretty small.
Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of hair. But
it's 8:30, and I guarantee we're live right now. And Bosch just hasn't told us because we're talking about mink pubes.
Probably.
I tried going live, but no, I backed out.
Oh, did I tell you guys my Vortex Strike Fire shit out on me?
What one's your Vortex Strike Fire?
The one on top of my Vector.
Are you sure the battery just didn't die?
I'm relatively certain it's fucking new. I barely used it.
That doesn't mean that the batteries aren't dead.
Right.
just saying.
Very good possibility that you left it on, Toad.
Yeah.
It feels like one of the buttons is broken.
Yeah.
Well, I'd replace the battery before I send it in.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because when they send it back to you with a note in it that says the battery was dead, you idiot.
Okadilly style Tokyo, you're an idiot.
I'm going to send it in, and I'm going to write my name as Andrew Johnson, just in case it's the battery.
They're going to be like, that guy didn't buy one of these.
All right. Well, we are live, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first official Gears and Beers live episode.
And if you're confused, no, we're not talking about cars.
I know, realize it doesn't make any sense, but
damn it, it sounds good.
We're morons, so just go with it. When I was envisioning it, or when we were coming up with names, and you said Gears and Beers, I imagined the chasing deers and slamming beers thing. So I was all aboard for that. But yeah, we're not talking about cars. This is what we're gonna make our kind of a gear chat, our bi-weekly gear chat. Welcome, Brett, Jay, Chris. Man, lots of comments already flowing in. This is great. So, what do we got going on tonight? Who wants to go first, guys?
It's because everybody's sitting at home. They ain't got nothing
Probably.
to do but stare at our ugly faces.
I was kind of worried that internet would be too slow or something to work for this, but eh.
Well, I have a real question of how many of our viewers are actually not working right now. I'm betting not very many.
Yeah, probably not. Well, anybody that's in the food industry would be probably, but other than that, food or gyms really the only thing that's closest. Theaters, that sort of shit.
Yeah.
So what do we got going on? Who wants to go first, boys?
I can, because I know you'll be excited to talk about it, Box.
I don't have much to say about it, actually.
The CZ Shadow 2 single action that they came out with.
It's a thing of beauty. Folks.
It is a beautiful pistol. It is a real nice unit.
Box, is that the one you were drooling over at SHOT Show?
Yes. It's the one I've been drooling over ever since I've seen it.
That thing is pretty sweet. Ow!
And it's got like the single action, I guess, is more towards I guess I don't understand, like, what was the non-single action Shadow 2? Like, what market was that tailored for? Like the double single action? Were people really?
People like double action, single action stuff.
Well, I know, but were they like carrying it?
No, it's more of a, believe it or not, beginner competition gun.
Right, but then so like that was my question: was what was the necessity of the double action? I guess I don't understand.
I couldn't tell you that, actually.
Like that was the part that confused me. It was, why was it not just single action to begin with? If it was, designed as kind of a competition gun, which was what I believe it was kind of intended for. And
I mean, maybe it's just so people can carry it.
Yeah,
I'd probably carry it just because it's so freaking sexy.
The thing that I found weird was like that this single action model, it still just has the real thin, like double action looking trigger in it.
Are you going to throw a picture up so anybody knows what the hell we're talking about?
I already did. You just missed
Oh.
it.
Yeah, well, we're way freaking behind on my feed. Sorry.
But these guns are beautiful. I thought it was interesting that, a competition style pistol would be a double single action to begin with, I guess. But
oh, there it is. It's pretty.
I do really like these. And if you're talking about like introductory competition pistols, it's really not like out of the normal realm of price point. It's really not.
It's weird because
expensive.
No, it's weird because when you say introductory, people are thinking, "Oh, this is going to be $400 or $500." No, this is introductory to the high end of competition guns. Yeah. I think this runs like $1,300. I think, which is still
like $1,350 is their MSRP.
That's
like
not bad.
Nothing compared to an STI.
No,
right.
God, I don't know if I can ever do that, man. I've never paid $1,300 for a gun.
I know, but if I had $1,300,
I've paid way more than $1,300 for a gun.
Not for a pistol.
No.
I think I would, and I will if I can.
I paid I think I paid right around $1,000 for my 45.
Yeah.
But
I would think it's safe to say that this little fellow right here, with everything said and done on it and done to it, is probably I probably could have bought a Shadow too.
Yeah, I think you probably could have.
Yeah, I could have
a lot less malfunctions.
I could have for both of the ARs that I've built.
Yeah.
But the one AR is I overspent on it.
Yeah.
For what it is, I mean, I didn't build it correctly. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I still managed to spend almost $1,500 on it, I think. And it's not.
Holy snikey!
It's not a nice running rifle. I mean, it runs, but it's not anything compared to what I have now, which I think I might have spent a little bit less on what I have now, or what I'm running now.
You know that heavy barreled one that I've got with the 20-inch stainless barrel that we use to shoot tannerite?
Yep.
That one I built, or me and Sam built it. Well, mostly Sam put it together. What did I spend on that, Sam? Wasn't it like fucking 16?
I don't recall what it was.
I know it was a lot because it was like 2013. Whatever, ridiculously expensive.
I've never spent more than like $1,100 on a rifle. Minus optics. That's all I've ever spent on an AR.
Hey, my last one was $516.
Yeah, that was a cheap one.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be had for that anymore.
No.
Since we're talking about ARs, my product of the night is the Nero 55 sex. Not the 55 sex, the 556.
Yeah, but
No. Sam, we make a T-shirt that says that on it with a picture of a 556 round. Just be like 5.5 sex.
556.
That's not a bad idea, Toad.
Yeah.
To answer your question, it does not look like sex. It is absolutely hideous.
It's a penis-shaped gun,
but it is super effective. It's made by Walker Defense Research. It's actually 3D printed, which I thought when I first heard it, I was like, that's odd. How can that be? But it is 3D printed metal out of this stuff called Inconel.
Ooh, that's some high dollar.
Which is stuff that goes in like jet engines and rockets and shit. It's a nickel chromium super alloy.
Yeah, so it's like a super high chromium content, and it's like a lot of like real high-end race motors use it for like exhaust valves and shit that need to take a really high temperature. So like a lot of turbo guys build exhaust and shit out of Inconel just because it can handle the really, really high heat.
Yeah.
It's some badass shit.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. There's only a few that I went and I was reading on their site. There's a few they asked where's this used, and it listed a few firearm companies. Daniel Defense uses one of them in one of their suppressors. This company called Delta P uses it in a suppressor. I've never heard of them. And Surefire uses it on their SOCOM suppressors.
Yeah.
And then also there is Knight's Armament. They used it on a muzzle brake, but I don't know if it looks like it's discontinued now to me, which is understandable because the prices I was seeing that were between $430 and $550.
Knights. It seems like Knight's Armament. Anything
Did they
build, it's only for a short time.
Okay.
They frequently do, like, as they're manufacturing it for the military, it's available for purchase for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And when the contract runs out for the military, they just quit producing it. They're not going to continue to produce it for the civilian market. They
have a hard time
move production on to other things.
I have a hard time believing though that they were selling $550 muzzle brakes to the military.
No, they were.
Honestly, wouldn't surprise me.
They were selling the muzzle brake. You know, if they had a contract through the military, they were just saying, you know, this is what. Honestly, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they were charging the military $500 for them, and that's just their price they set on them, and that's it. You know.
Yeah. Well, anyways, this one is considerably less. It is MSRP, I believe, is $180. It's still pretty up there for a muzzle device. Well, higher end, anyways.
Yeah.
How much?
But it's $180.
Yeah.
But it's super effective. I was watching videos of them with full autos, and people are one-handed them, and it wouldn't go anywhere. I mean, it's butt ugly, but it works real freaking good.
Hey, just like me.
They said, wow. They were saying without the, I can't remember what gas length they recommended with it. I think it was shorter stuff, but
Really?
Because if you didn't have the right gas length or barrel length, then it would actually push your muzzle down, which would be real freaking weird because you're used to
Too effective. Yeah.
doing the opposite of that. So be pretty weird. I thought that was pretty interesting though, to be 3D printing muzzle brakes.
Like 3D metal printing?
Yeah. Yep.
Why did they do it that way? Is it designed so that it'd be way too hard to machine normally, or what?
Well, that material, it is super difficult.
Material it's hard to work with.
But they were also saying that you can 3D print things on the interior the way you couldn't machine them. So you can do things, you can design things completely different ways than if you were to just machine it. Too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because on the inside of shit where there's no possible way to to do any machining or whatsoever, you can make tunnels or grooves or whatever the hell you want in there.
Yep.
Right.
Interesting. What was that one called?
That was the Nero 556. Why do I keep freaking saying that?
Every time.
556.
I've had half a drink. I'm drunk. That was the Nero 556 by Walker Defense Research.
Johnson, what was that one you were cheesing about months when we first got into this whole deal? You were cheesing about one, and you showed us the same. Video
I was trying to remember that also, and I couldn't.
It was the F1 Firearms Dragon Slayer.
Yep, I knew it was Dragon something.
You never got that?
No, I never did buy one.
How much do they go for?
Not that. I think they're right around the $120 mark.
I think I saw 90 for it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong though.
Like outrageous.
Huh?
Why can I not get comments come up on this piece of garbage?
I'm getting some.
There it is. Finally.
Must be a little penned up box.
Damn box. Always getting hammered on our hangouts.
It's been a stressful evening, all right? Leave me alone.
I'm really interested to try out that open tying Surefire war comp. I want to hear the tuning fork sound of it and see how long that lasts once it gets dirty. Because I've heard a lot about people hate that it rings, but they said it goes away when it gets dirty. So I'm interested to try it out once I get mine.
I can't imagine. I don't understand why that would be a thing. I really don't care. I feel like the boom is going to be a hell of a lot louder than any ping or anything that you would hear.
It's easy to pick up from your ear because it's so different of a tone than it's a different pitch. because
Nah, I
everything is
suppose.
such a boom and like a deep thud versus that real high pitch ring
Right.
comes off of there. So
I don't know.
What is that break you have on that one rifle of yours, Johnson? That stupid freaking loud one.
both of mine are like 3-chamber brakes. I guess I don't have either of them up here, but the loud ones that I have are just like one is like just a DPMS Jerry Michalek $40 3-chamber muzzle brake. That's on my like tan gun. And then on the other one, I got I think it's like a Venom Defense titanium 3-chamber muzzle brake.
I don't know if Grant's still watching, but Grant Ross, when he built his AR, he slapped one on his, and I have no idea what it is, but it's the loudest thing I've ever heard on an AR.
Yeah, it's not quiet.
No, it's horrible.
Another thing about that Nero, they said it does really well at suppressing flashes, and also it's not super duper loud either.
Really?
Which is interesting. I mean, most of the super effective ones are also super loud or super flashy or something. This one just seems
that the thing with those is there's going to be a trade-off somewhere. I mean, that's just
and this one just so
gotta be that way.
This one's trade-off just so happens to be it's butt ass ugly. Yep.
Yeah, it's fugly. That's the trade-off with that.
I just saw the headline at the bottom. Head of CNN found inside Hillary Clinton's anus. That's nice. Nice.
Don't we look professional, guys? I mean, look at that spinning logo down there, slowly spinning. Isn't that fancy
I
as
honestly
shit?
just noticed it.
God, I'm pretty proud of myself. Not gonna lie.
Breaking news headlines and
I'm
everything.
pretty proud of myself. Good.
What do our viewers think of our new setup? Let us know. I worked hard on this, guys. I worked real hard.
It looks good. So
Good.
Looks professional.
yeah. So I know
Unlike us.
what's real common right now is people, I guess I shouldn't say common, but really popular right now is people buying up a lot of ammo. The prices are going up, things are getting crazy, and a lot of people are just buying it to store it for a rainy day. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was ammo storage. There's a lot of really inexpensive products for, like sealed boxes and, ammo crates and shit like these MTM case guard stuff. I have a ton of MTM case guard stuff. It's cheap. You can buy it anywhere. Fleet Farm, Shields, Amazon. I use it. I love it. I've got like their mag carriers, like the boxes for mags. I've got big ones for all of my bulk ammo and stuff. But I think one thing that people don't think about enough is moisture control. A lot of people forget about that in their gun safes as well. Having a good like dehumidifier or something to keep the humidity down inside your safe is important. It's also important in your ammo storage. So a thing that I wanted to talk about was like using things like this, like silica gel packets, just in your ammo storage. So in every container that I have, I've got like in my big bulk ammo containers, I have 2 of these 10-gram silica gel packets, and then for the magazine boxes that I have, I throw one of these 10-gram packets in there. And it's something that's super cheap, that if you're, if you purchase a lot of ammo or store a lot of ammo, is really good investment just to, make sure that it's going to go bang when you need it. So like you can get like a 32 pack of these 10-gram ones on Amazon for like $8.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, so it's like it's super cheap, and it's just really good insurance on making sure shit stays dry. Like a lot of the boxes that you get are like water sealed, or like they have like an O-ring seal to make them watertight. But the problem with that is you're trapping any moisture in there also the moisture can't get out. So having these silica gel packets in there can really help out with that. And that'd be a super shitty thing to store, 5,000 rounds of ammo. You need it, and all of it's shit.
So that's all well and good, but why can't I just fill up my ammo boxes and then dump a gallon of salt in there with it?
Well, hey, each their own.
Salt corrodes, right, Box?
It's
a joke, Toad.
Why don't you try it out and let us know how it turns out for you?
Yeah, honestly, as long as if you're keeping ammo, buy this shit. It's so cheap. Just silica gel packets. The 10-gram packets are the perfect size. Get an assload of them. They are dirt cheap. See, it's good insurance, and along with that, use some kind of dehumidifier or silica gel or something like that for your safe. I have a Remington.
I was going to ask about that.
It's a silica gel inside this element, inside this box, and then I take it out and I plug it into the wall, and it's got a heater in it, and it dries out that silica gel. So then it, lets all the moisture, heats all the moisture,
reusable.
Basically runs it off, and then you go and put it back in, and it changes color. So when it's moisture saturated, it turns pink. You plug it in, it heats it up, it dries out, it goes back to blue. So then
turns pink when it's moist.
Yeah. Convenient, right?
I wonder how effective that would be in a super humid environment.
Well, I mean, it has its limits.
Well, yeah, I know, but
during the summer, I probably have to plug it into the wall for I usually plug it in overnight, maybe once a week during the middle of summer when it's real humid.
Yep.
So yeah, basically the idea is you don't want to have your expensive ammo go to waste. And speaking of expensive ammo, this is one thing that I wanted to touch on tonight was Jay just mentioned the Cheaper Than Dirt. If you guys aren't familiar with Cheaper Than Dirt, they're a website online that sells, and they also have a gun shop somewhere. I don't know exactly where it's at.
Who cares?
Yeah, they're basically don't ever buy from them. I've literally seen shit on there in the last 10 years that I've wanted to buy, refused to buy it from them because they're just complete and utter dirtbags. The day after Sandy Hook, they jacked up the prices of PMags to $100 a mag, just for the simple fact people were panic buying and they thought that people would pay it. And then this lately, after this whole deal, the run on ammo that's been going on, Jay mentioned they're selling 1,000 Winchester white box 220. Was it must be 223?
I believe so. Yeah. I saw it the other day. Yeah,
for $970. They usually go for around $300.
Right.
So they're just profiteering pieces of shit. Don't freaking don't patronize them. Don't give them your money. There's a hell of a lot more people, hardworking people that could small businesses that could use your money other than those pieces of trash.
Yeah, don't buy from Tactical Shit either. They had 1,000-round case of some ammo. They did a video on how it's this good ammo, and
it was Fort Scott munition, tumble upon impact.
Yeah, and it was $800 for 1,000 rounds.
That's honestly,
how much is it usually?
75 cents a round.
Well,
it wasn't out.
If they're I mean, I can see if it usually sells for 700 and or 750 and it sells for $8. I mean, if it's a high end ammo, I can see it, a little bit. But the ridiculousness. What?
It's
they were selling the masks too, though. They got in a shipment of masks that normally are $3 a piece, and they were selling them for $12.56 a piece.
Yeah, that's just
and that's something you really got to watch out for in situations like this when people are panic buying. You can kind of expect a little bit of a price increase, but when people really start nailing you like that, you got to watch out for what you're doing, and that's where like ammo seek and stuff like that really comes into play and can be beneficial, because it, you know, you might go, like, say you're a normal shopper of Cheaper Than Dirt, you never saw them price gouge after Sandy Hook, you never heard anything about it, you know, you've bought ammo from Cheaper Than Dirt for the last 3 years, you know, prices have been pretty average, so all of a sudden you go there a couple days ago and you're like, holy shit, the prices are crazy, you know, I better get this before they don't even have any, you know. So using something like Ammo Seek really helps, you know, keep them honest, I guess.
Yeah, Gunbot was the big one that came up in back in 2012, 13.
Yeah.
They were kind of the first one that started that whole deal. Miles was asking about what do we thought about the ammo subscription concepts. I think it's a freaking good idea. You pay a certain amount of money every month, and they automatically send you ammo. That seems like a hell of a good idea to me.
Yeah.
Well, that one he was talking about was a little bit different, where they don't send it to you until you ask them to. So you don't even have to store it. I mean, you're buying it, but you don't store it. Which in this,
I'm confused.
You send them money every month, and you get so many rounds, and then when you want to have them send it to you, say you after 2 months you've paid $65 or something, they send you $65 worth of ammo.
Oh, I see.
But if you want it after the first month, then you only get how much you paid for that month.
Interesting. Well, I think it'd be a good way to actually get stocked up on ammo, because a lot of people, especially after Sandy Hook, were saying, "Oh, I'm never going to let this happen again. I'm never going to be low on ammo again." Well, that was 10 years ago or 8 years ago. You know, we kind of get lax and get run down on ammo. So if you do something like that, where you're always building and you're always getting more, I think it's a hell of a good deal. As long as you're getting a decent deal on it and you're not paying, 40, 50 cents a round for 223 or 25 or 30 cents a round for 9mm.
I don't know. Like today,
I've never been out.
Today, with what's going on, I'm not sure how I would feel about that though. I went to
what?
The site that he's talking about, a site that I've never heard of. I believe it's Ammo Squared was the one he's talking about. But
yeah.
A unknown company, who's to say that they even have the ammo that I've paid for at this particular moment? Say I had paid $500 for ammo and I want it now because I need to stock up. Who's to say they have that $500 worth of ammo at that particular point? Everybody else is low. Why aren't they?
Right.
Well, I wonder if there's a clause in the agreement that you sign that says they have to have whatever they've said they have on hand, because they can't just they can't just say, hey, we got 1,000 rounds and they only have 200 rounds. So, and when everybody calls in, hey, I want my ammo now, and then they're shit out of luck. That doesn't make sense.
That was obnoxious. That? Guess.
Let me guess. Toad?
I turned it off. That was a news update. I don't know how to turn that off.
Smash your phone.
Throw it across the room.
Okay, well, we got a little bit off topic there, guys. This is supposed to be Gears and Beers.
It's whatever the heck we want it to be.
Well, we've still got a few other things to talk about.
Right.
We got Sam. You haven't said anything yet, and Toad. Which one of you wants to go?
Yeah, I want to talk about my Gerber flat iron. This was the other day. I got a hankering for one of those cleaver style knives. So I ended up buying. Typically, I'm a Kershaw fanboy. I was debating between the Kershaw. I can't remember what what one theirs is called, or the Gerber flat iron. This is actually the second generation.
I can't see it, Sam. I have an actual good picture of it up on the screen.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. So it's not a real high end knife. I think I paid around $38 for it or something like that on Amazon. But it's got the cleaver style blade that I was going for. Nothing. I mean, it's handy. It's cool. I like it. It looks cool. It's nice for slicing meats, I guess. But it's actually I'm fairly impressed with the quality of it. Gerber is obviously a solid company. Most of the shit they make is pretty solid. It's just got a G10 handle, G10 material on one side of the grip. On the other side, they got this funky little thing there. It's like an insert, and all that does is it stops the blade release from over traveling, so you can't end up breaking that or whatever. The blade is not like a super high quality. Let's see if I can remember what it is. It's a 7CR17 MOV steel, so it's not like, it's kind of like a budget steel. It's nothing super high end, but it does the job. I mean, it works good. It's got a pretty decent edge on it right now before I totally screw it up, which I always do to my knives.
Yes, you do, and then I have to fix them.
Yeah. The only complaint that I did have was this pocket clip. It's a fat ass pocket clip. It's a lot bigger than
that's
most.
freaking goofy.
But what'd you say? Oh no, it's just F fat.
Okay.
But the issue I had with it was when I first got it. I don't know if you can see it here, but it was up off of the handle, so it really wasn't doing any good at all. It was just it was so loose. So what I ended up doing was having to take it off and bend it back down. But other than that, everything I was pretty happy with it. I think Gerber is along the same quality as my Kershaw. Like I said, I'm a Kershaw fanboy, so most of their shit's along the same lines of quality as them. So I'm happy with it, and I'll be using it a lot over the next year, this summer especially. Reason being is I don't use like steak knives or anything. I use my freaking pocket knife. I use the damn thing for everything, even when I'm grilling and eating meats and shit like that. So yeah, but
we all kind of do that.
Yeah, but
I'm
I'm pretty happy with it for the price. It's a hell of a good knife. I wouldn't hesitate to buy another one. So that is my short little review.
I just don't get the whole idea of a cleaver pocket knife. I mean, what can it do what can it do that mine can't?
It's just a different shape. I mean, it can do everything that my other one can do other than stab somebody. But how many times have I ever needed to stab somebody?
You'll wish you could stab someone someday, though.
I'm pretty sure I could figure out a way to stab somebody with this. You just got to kind of come at a different angle.
It's kind of like over in Europe where they won't sell pointy knives anymore. Right. They have to round off all the edges. Okay. Yeah. Like I still can't cut somebody to shit with that.
Right.
But actually in a lot of knife fighting, they're not teaching you to stab.
Jab.
You're slashing vital parts. So
have you taken a lot of knife fighting classes, have you?
But I'm just saying to have
from
a good
what
knife
I've seen in movies.
It doesn't I've actually but so I'm not gonna be stabbing anybody anyway. So
okay. Anyways, after that awkward silence, Toad, do you want
my product is? Yeah. Johnson and I had talked about doing a review video on this, and we never got to it. But it's the Bushnell TRS-26 optic.
I have news for you.
So we both ended up buying one. You what?
The review is all recorded. I just need to put it together now.
Oh, okay. You did finally end up recording the rest of it, huh?
Yeah, so you guys will see a full review on this optic coming soon.
So Johnson told me about this because I was looking at the is it the MRO, the Trijicon MRO, the wide, and Johnson mentioned the 26 from Bushnell. So I went out one weekend and I bought it, and it's different than your standard red dot in the fact that it's actually got a really wide view instead of a narrow kind of focused view. This is a really wide view, and in my opinion, it makes for a lot better target acquisition. You can see a lot more of what's behind it, what you're aiming at, and I just really liked it. So I slapped it on the competition AR, and I still get smoked every weekend, but it helped out.
It's not because of the. It's not
what
because
did
of
you
the
do?
red dot anyway.
No, because I'm slow.
I will say that I think it's a little bit ugly, but it definitely does what it's supposed to do. I mean, you get a nice wide.
Yeah, it's and what's funny is like the TRS, it's a TRS-26 because it's a 26 millimeter objective lens, right? Well, most of the other ones are like 24, so it's only like 2 millimeters bigger. But that 2 millimeters, like, and you've looked through it too, Sam. Like, you know that it makes a big difference. Like, you feel like you can see a lot more.
Yeah, I actually have a TRS 25.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't know where the hell I acquired it. It's just out in my shop for some reason. I don't know how I got it or where the hell it came from. But that's even noticeably smaller if it's just the. I mean, so it's definitely a cool idea, and I think I may pick one up. I'm just running primary arms red dots on my shit right now. So
speaking of primary arms, they just released a new optic as well, more along the ACOG line, but it's a 2x magnifier. I can't know many details about it, but it does seem kind of interesting. It's only like $350 or $400 or something like that, which at that price point I mean, it's designed as a self-defense and home defense optic, so I'm kind of iffy about the reliability of it at that price point, but it could be great. I mean, primary arms makes some good stuff.
So, Box, this is a Burris. This is on my dad's rifle. This is a Burris AR 536, and this is actually like a fixed 5-power, like prism sight, and it's like really comparable to an ACOG. I mean, obviously the reticle's different, but as far as like construction and stuff goes, it's really comparable. And this is really on the, less expensive side of it too. I think these are like 400 or something bucks. And they might have a new version out now because this was bought, when my dad built this rifle. Oh, it was probably 2009 maybe when he did this rifle. So it was new then. So I mean, I'm sure they've got something else out there now, but
yeah,
there are other options out there for, ACOG style stuff. But I will say
they ain't cheap.
It's pretty hard to beat primary arms ACSS reticle, honestly.
Yeah, I need to. I want to get a AR set up with a little bit like an actual, not just a normal red dot sight on it, something like you were just talking about, that you can get a little bit of magnification out and hit a little bit longer range a lot easier, because obviously you guys know that I struggle mightily with even 100 yards with a red dot.
Right.
No, I've never seen you struggle at that range.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, what else do we have, boys? You guys have all done yours, right?
I've got one more thing.
You're gonna read us. He's gonna read us a book.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I have this book.
Hey, I got the same book.
Cooking with Beer. So I'm thinking if you guys are interested at all, we could try a recipe out of here every, couple of weeks maybe. And just kind of talk about it, see what we thought of it, and like post the recipe on the page. I don't know if you guys would be interested in something like that. We're obviously, all of us like beer, so cooking with beer just makes sense. So I thought it'd be cool that, there's like, brats, cheddar beer burgers, beer brine pork chops, like all kinds of good stuff. There's even like breads and desserts and stuff with beer in here. Soft pretzels, fiesta bread, all kinds of good stuff with beer in it. So let us know what you guys think of that idea. I thought it'd be kind of neat to, the four of us try some cooking, and if it involves beer, I got to make it better.
Gears and beers.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Bucks.
I kind of wanted to get more into that on the Life Short Live Free page anyways, is just do more food stuff. I got a bunch of beef ribs I'm gonna cook up here one of these days, or grill up as soon as it gets a little bit nicer out. So
Toad, you were gonna say something?
When does PSA have an ETA on their MP5 clone yet?
I don't think they do.
I actually looked for release dates for 2 weeks ago when we did this. I looked for release dates on PSA for all of their stuff because I wanted to talk about that stuff. Their dagger is supposed to come out in the next 2 months. The dagger, that pistol, their Glock Gen 3 compatible Glock pistol, the dagger should be released to the public in the next couple of months. But the MP5, there was like somebody.
yeah,
He wouldn't really tell us much about it.
He wouldn't say anything
Radio
about release
silence.
date, but he did promise.
Yeah, okay.
That it would be out this year.
Yeah.
First, they'll take, and he was really adamant about that.
They probably promised on 2018 SHOT Show when that concept first came out. We promise it'll be out in 2018.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I don't know. This guy, he actually, he was one of he owned the company that designed it, Lead Star Arms, actually. Palmetto didn't design that one. They work with Lead Star Arms or whatever.
Obviously not going to go to SHOT Show and be like, well, we brought it here, but it's going to be another 45 years before we actually.
I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna take his word and say that I'm not saying it'll be out early this year, but we got a lot of year left.
I think it'll be fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. He said something like third quarter or something like that. But Box, did you see? And I could be wrong. I caught the article in passing, but H&K is releasing a civilian version of the MP5.
I did see that. I didn't really look into it much because it's semi-automatic and probably really expensive. So
I looked and it was like $3,000.
Yeah, I don't want one of those more than I want a CZ or an STI though. I'm more of a pistol person actually.
Yeah, how's that? What was it? That you bought Steyr? How's that shoot, Box?
Shoots great.
How many rounds you got through that beast so far?
Not that many. Probably around 100, 150 maybe.
How many times have you cleaned it?
Once. Back off.
Yeah. No,
I can't shoot it yet. I want to clean it first.
I think, Box, I could see you like becoming a real collector of eclectic pistols, just like super odd shit.
No. I've been thinking lately, I probably won't be buying.
In 40 years being that guy at the gun show, just like not really wanting to sell anything, just wanting to show people all of his old weird shit. Like goes to every single gun show.
No.
The one other thing, Box, have you covered your?
I did, but I have one other thing too.
Oh well, we wanted to talk about reloading supplies.
Well, I don't
reloading stuff.
I don't care. We can save this other one for next time too, I guess.
What's your other one? Let's see if I'm more interested in that.
The Ruger PC pistol.
Oh, I just saw that. I'm conflicted. I saw the takedown version of that, and that actually would be. I like the concept behind it as like a backpack gun. If you're going out like on a hike out in the freaking mountains for a couple of days, it'd be awesome. But it's so fugly. Like
I think I'd spend less money. Get the.
You cut out pretty bad there. I didn't hear anything you just said.
Yeah, what's that, Johnson?
I said I think I'd just save the money and get the Kel-Tec.
Nah. I think this one, I like this one, actually. I mean, I guess now that we're talking about it, we might as well talk about it.
Yeah.
So, Ruger released the pistol version of their PC carbine called the PC Charger pistol. It's in 9mm. I guess I can throw up a picture of this here, can I?
Yep.
Look at me doing this fancy shit and stuff. I mean, I kind of like it.
I think it's ugly.
It's got. I will admit that in that picture it doesn't look good.
Dude, it doesn't matter what picture it is. It all looks.
You throw a brace on there, and a bigger mag and a suppressor, and it actually looks pretty nice.
I'm looking at them with.
If you spend $2,500 on this fucking.
Well, you don't need the suppressor either, but I mean, it looks cool with just this.
I'm actually looking at it with a like one of the SIG braces on, the SIG MPX braces, and just a 30-round Glock mag, and it actually looks not bad. Pretty kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. So it's got M-lock on the handguard. It's got the Picatinny on the rear for your brace. Its barrel is obviously threaded, 1/2x28 for your suppressors, and it ships with 2 different mag wells. One for Ruger mags and then one for Glock mags also. And both the mag release and the charging handle, those are reversible. So if you're like Toad, you can flop it over to the left side. And it does accept AR grips, which I don't know how big of a benefit that is, but I mean, yeah, it's handy.
It's handy. Oh my God. I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
And
apparently everybody and their mom thought it was a good time to message me on Facebook right now. Oh my sweet Jesus.
See, Brett and Jay like it. Jay, yeah, I was watching something on 22 Plinkster earlier about it too.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this picture. It's got like a SIG Romeo 5 on it. Like the SIG brace. A 30-round clear Glock mag. It doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, you probably looking at the same picture I did.
I think it'd be fun.
And that's the thing is like the standard Ruger Charger, like the 1022 version. Like that made sense. It had like a 12-inch barrel, but like this has like a 5-inch barrel. Why not just carry a pistol?
Well. I don't think this is necessarily a carry piece.
Well, I realize that, but I mean, if you're gonna make it, like, it's obviously not a takedown unit.
Well, no, it'd be
yeah,
like
it is.
back.
Yes, it is.
Well, they make a takedown unit. I don't think this little one that I'm looking at with like a 4-inch barrel on it probably is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Why the fuck would you take the barrel off of that? What's the point?
So you can fit it in a really. You can fit it in a really. You can fit it in a really small bag, like a laptop bag or something like that.
Dude, if you gotta take that, if you fold that brace and still have to take that little barrel off, you're doing something wrong.
Actually, Johnson, did you just Google Ruger PC charger? If you go down like a few more, there's one with a takedown of it, the barrel and the rails off of it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get it, but it's like,
you guys know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's new. I like it.
It's options, innovation. I dig it.
It's not innovation.
I applaud it.
It's not innovation. They took their 1022 takedown and their PC carbine and...
Yeah, but it didn't exist before. Now it exists.
But it's
cool.
new.
It did exist. It just didn't exist in that caliber.
Well, there you go.
Shut up.
All right then.
Massive.
Seriously, I'm only just seeing the Bushnell site up on the screen right now.
You need to refresh.
Yeah, you're way behind. The guys in the
God, dude.
You need to refresh.
Did you get fiber optic yet, Sam?
No, I gotta do that yet.
Box and I were talking earlier. I called Box a little earlier. It was just I was kind of bullshitting, and I just want to put a bug in your guys' ear.
Better not be fucking coronavirus.
No, not that kind of bug. This is a cockroach.
I can help you with those.
Thank you. I was talking to Box about a couple of things. One thing is a really inexpensive bolt gun. I can get either any of us can go get a Mossberg Patriot in 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor with, I don't know the brand of the scope, but it's like a 4-12 by 40 scope already on it for sub $400 with a scope already on it, and 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor. Now you could also get a Ruger American with a 22-inch barrel in 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor with a Vortex, I think it's like 4-14 by 44 scope on it for $550. Now, I want you guys to think about this because I want to talk about this on the podcast, but like a cheap bolt gun that you're like, to me, it'd be like a good shit hit the fan rifle, just like a 308 bolt gun. Would you? So 6.5 Creedmoor is better at range, carries energy farther, stays supersonic longer, yada yada. But it's more expensive to shoot. It's more expensive per round, and the ammo availability isn't there. So that's what I want you guys to think on for the podcast is if you were taking, a bolt gun hunting rifle for
do I have to wait to answer?
One last rifle.
Do I have to wait to answer until the podcast?
Yep, you have to think on it.
I want you to actually think about it.
You give me homework?
Yeah, I want you to actually think about it because I want you to actually look at the two cartridges because there's it can go back and forth, terminal ballistics at different ranges and being able to hit your target first round impacts at range because of how much flatter the 6.5 Creedmoor is than the 308. But then you have to take that into account with the ammo availability and the price of ammo, so I want you to think about it. The other thing I want you to think about, and this kind of ties in, is the weight of your ammo that you would want to carry with you.
I'd get a wagon and carry it all.
I'm going to carry around this.
Box is going to be wandering around the
this radio flyer with me for the rest of my life.
Box is going to be wandering around the wasteland pulling a freaking radio flyer wagon behind him.
Goddamn right. Everyone would be terrified. I mean, who's that crazy asshole with the wagon?
So Jay Nelson, you should message me because he has the Patriot 6.5 and the Ruger American 308. This gentleman right here knows all about all of it.
Knows what's up.
Yeah.
I think I have my answer. I mean, it's a pretty clear decision for me, but
no, you have to wait. Teacher said so.
All right.
Well, do we want to talk about reloading or do we want to cut it off? We're at an hour right now.
Well, no, we're just under an hour. It's only 9:23.
You're like 4 minutes behind though, Sam.
Well, I think right now would be a good time to cover a little bit of reloading because you're just looking to get into it. Have you done much research on what you want as far as a press box?
I have not. I googled a few. I decided that I'll probably get a progressive because I know if I get a single stage, I'll be too lazy to actually use it, and it'll just be a waste of my money.
Yeah, that's a fair enough assessment, I suppose. I kind of wish I would have won progressive when I first got it, but I got everything I need now, so I could just buy like a Lee progressive and everything would, I just need the actual press and I got all the other shit, obviously, so it wouldn't be that much of an upgrade. Press, I could leave my single stage as just like a D-primer and sizer die situation set up, but actually I did a little bit of inventory. I got a shitload of 55 grain full metal jackets. I don't even know where they came from. Like over probably 1,000 of them sitting around.
You bought that big ass box that time. I remember when you got it because you told me about it.
Yeah, and then I got like several hundred of 9mm right now, but I got a crap load of small rifle primers, like 3,000, and a couple thousand small pistol primers for 223 and 9mm. So I'm pretty well set as far as components go.
Do you need 223 brass?
No, actually, I mean, I got a buttload of it actually deprimed and sized and shit already, I believe.
Okay.
But back in the day when I was big into reloading, I did a bunch of that. Just
because I have like gallon bags full, like a multitude of gallon bags full of 223 and 5.56.
You don't do any reloading, do you?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah.
Well, I've saved all this 223 brass to make 300 blackout.
Right.
Out of it, and I have so much, but I'm never gonna make 7,000 rounds of 300 blackout. You know what I mean?
Have you started making it yet? I got one of those saws, Harbor Freight saws that everybody uses. You know, when you decide to start using it.
I'm not so worried about that. I just need a jig to hold them to the correct length.
Right. But yeah, just in especially in times like these, it's nice to have that skill. So I'm glad that I got into it back in the day when I did. So box, I think it's good for you to get into too.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't think there's ever a bad time to get into reloading or learning a new skill in general.
Actually, it was a bad time when I got in. I got in right after Sandy Hook. So you could literally, when you were looking for some like primers and shit, you'd go to Shields.
It was just an expensive time.
Right, but you'd go to Shields and they have like 100. They were selling it by the 100 rounds of primers. Usually they sell it by the thousands,
right?
But they were selling it by the hundreds. You know, and I go on there and pick up a couple hundred at a time, and that's. I'm glad I did. In fact, I got all that shit when I did, so it's better than having nothing at least.
Yeah, I was looking for. I knew I had a bunch of 45 brass earlier tonight. I could not find it, and I found it, and I had way more than I thought. I thought I had like 200 rounds of 45 brass, and there's like 500. So I've only got like 300 actual projectiles. So I got to go pick up some more, but.
Yeah, I'm gonna put in another. I think I'm gonna put in an order with extreme bullets for another either 500 or 1,000 projectiles for 9mm because I've only got a few hundred of those left. So that's my only weak spot right now.
Yeah, this is kind of my instead of using a subscription service like Miles was talking about. That's kind of my plan to keep myself stockpiling and shit, because I'm pretty bad at that. But it's way easier to stockpile powder and bullets and primers and brass and shit than that.
Right? I got almost 4 pounds of tight group for 9mm, and that made like 1 pound of it will make an absolute shit ton of 9mm. So 4 pounds I should be set in the powder department for a little while at least.
Yeah, I've got 2 pounds. 2 pounds of tight group and
go ahead, Toad.
So I got 2 pounds of tight group and 2 pounds of IMR 4198, which is what I use for 4570, and that 1 pound of that will actually not make as many rounds of 4570 as you think, because you're using 46.6 grains per round.
Oh, so yeah.
I've probably loaded maybe 200 of them, and I'm about out of the 1 pound, I think.
That doesn't surprise me. But when you're only loading like 9mm, what, like 4 grains or something like? I don't even remember what the hell exactly it is. It's been so long since I think it's around something like that. But
5. I think your 9mm is like 4.2.
Yeah, I think that's what it is if I remember right. It's been years since I've reloaded any, but.
And that's the funny thing is like a 4570. You know, you're 44, 46 grains of powder, depending on what powder you're using. But like my 6 Creedmoor, that's the same deal as it's going to take me, it'll take 3 pounds to do 500, over 3 pounds to do 500 rounds, because you're using 42 to 46 grains of like Hodgdon 4350 or, IMR 4350 per case, and it's like, boy, that
Right.
stuff goes away in a hurry.
Yeah.
One thing I keep seeing is everyone all about reloading is recommending a reloading handbook. Is that just like a guide for your grains and shit?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
I got the same one, Johnson.
Gives you a guideline for load data, basically where to start with like grain, like charges of powder, because you don't want to just be like, well, I'm just gonna fill the case up full of powder, jam the bullet in it, and let's see what happens.
I kind of want to do that, actually.
So it's
make sure you videotape it.
It's good to know. It's good to have a place of reference.
Yeah.
And
I don't have the big book. I buy these ones. They sell them at Shields in the reloading section. And the reason I buy these is because if I'm looking at a massive book, I just don't want to get distracted and reload the wrong fucking thing. So this is one caliber, one book is what they say.
Yeah.
And they're $7-8, I think, is what I pay for them. And I've got them for every die set that I have. And everything's in here. All the manufacturers, powder loads, powder variations, brands, all that shit's in the one book, but it's all one dedicated caliber. So that's why I like these. Nothing against the big books. I just don't want to fuck something up because I've done that before.
Yeah. I think another good another good reason to have books is if you don't have the internet, it's going to be hard to find load data. So it's never bad to have a hard copy of something.
That's the reason I bought that big ass book. So if in the instance everything goes to shit, you still can load everything you need to be loading.
Yep.
What else other advice do we got for a newbie getting into reloading?
Weigh every charge.
Yes.
In the beginning.
Yep.
Make sure you know that your powder scale is correct. Make sure you're, visually inspect everything. Like so you don't double charge something. So you don't put a bullet in without any powder in, because then you get a squib load. Then then you got real problems. And there's just being very meticulous, especially when you start, to where you can get in a groove and understand what is important, where you need to be paying attention, like understanding where you're putting loaded cases versus
right. Yeah.
Where you're putting loaded cases versus just empty brass, and be very meticulous when you first start, because it ain't no bullshit when you double charge something. It's when you load around, it's not always you're not always filling the case up to where, hey, I went to put the charge in twice and it overflowed everywhere. Sometimes a double charge will fit in the case.
And that'll be the nice thing, Box, if you do go with the progressive. because once that powder is just you're not going to be able to screw that part of it up. But
right.
And I'm so damn anal about it. I tend to check everything over and and I check the overall length of way too many of my finished shells just because I'm anal like that. But it's not really a bad quality to have, I guess. So.
No, I measure every load that I put in. I weigh it, just because. Remember when we were talking about this in the group chat the other day, Box, and I said if you buy a Lee and it comes with the plastic powder dumper, to buy a better powder dumper.
Yeah.
Is that plastic one they send you works, but it's inconsistent. Mm-hmm. So what happens with mine, and it's done this since the day I got it, is it'll actually, where the turret revolves in it, it actually lets powder out the side of it. So you end up with like a little pile of powder underneath of it when you're doing it, and your loads are always inconsistent. So I've been looking, yeah, walked into that one. I've been looking at the RCBS auto dumper, and it's expensive. It's like $300 some, I think. But
I'm not gonna
it's
lie, I have the factory Lee one, and I've never had a problem. It's usually been pretty consistent.
That's the
yours
one I use too.
is yours plastic or metal? Because I see the new ones got way more metal on them than mine does, and mine's probably 10 years old.
And I think mine's mostly plastic. I mean, what?
Yeah,
Could just be a fluke though too.
Yeah, mine's all plastic, and it's not like super 100% consistent, but it's close enough to where it's not ever going to cause an issue, you know. So and me, all I reload is just plink and shit. You know, I'm not reloading self-defense or anything like that. So I'm not too terribly worried about it as long as it's pretty damn close.
Mine's mostly plastic.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just mine, but Brett.
But that's not a bad upgrade, Toad. I'm not going to say that you're not correct.
Yeah, Brett says he'd like to learn, so I don't know. You can come down some weekend. We can reload some shit in Sam's shop and show you.
One thing I've heard about reloading, Brett, is reloading is the treadmill of the firearm industry. People always buy a bunch of reloading stuff in times like this, and then it just sits and they never do anything, and they end up selling it again. So be sure you actually want to reload, I guess.
You know, I go through stages with it. Like, there was a stage where my reloader sat for probably 3 years and I didn't fucking touch it. But in the last, 2 years, I've done quite a bit more. When I lived in my apartment, it was mounted to a rolling TV stand, and I would just wheel it out of the closet, and I'd sit there and watch TV and reload whatever I had.
That sounds handy.
Yeah, and it'll be especially nice, and for guys like us in the next few weeks. There ain't jack. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Fucking nothing, because there ain't nothing open. Your ass is gonna be sitting home. Yeah. So it'll be nice.
And assholes will be at my house.
Not this weekend.
Yeah, we're not gonna be here, or not this weekend. This is it? No, this ain't a podcast weekend.
No.
I'm saying you guys will just be bored and just come out here to shoot.
Oh. No, I'm staying the hell away from you guys. Social distancing, man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's it, right, guys?
It is.
Shut her down.
I do believe.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. If you're watching us on Facebook and you didn't catch the whole thing, this will go up on all of our podcast providers in a week or something like that. We could probably upload them sooner than that, but
what I've been doing is every other Monday, uploading on the Mondays that we don't upload a podcast, I upload this.
Okay. And it'll also go up on our YouTube channel if you, for some reason, want to watch our ugly mugs. And be sure to share our stuff. We really appreciate that. It's the only really way we can grow. Let us know what you think of our beautiful new layout. I'm pretty proud of it. I don't know if you can tell.
I love it.
We're just trying to make things as interesting as possible for you guys, and we're trying hard. So let us know what you guys think about it and what we should change, or any ideas what we should talk about, what we should do, fun ideas for us. We're all about that too. God damn it, Toad. Maybe somebody can send Toad a manual on how to get his phone to shut the hell up.
That'd be nice.
Be sure to check out our YouTube. Subscribe to that. We'd really appreciate that. And I think that's all we got for you. Like I said, thanks for listening, guys. And Sam, it's your time to shine.
Yep. And before we do go, we didn't talk about it at all tonight, really, but obviously, this is a shitty time for everybody. It just makes it that much more important to stick together, help all your friends and your neighbors. And I think this is pretty much unprecedented for the entire country. It was that way after 9/11 as well. And so, but the deal after 9/11 was everybody was united and we were one, and it was an amazing feeling. As shitty as that sucked, it had some good come out of it. So I'm hoping the same deal can come out of this. Let's unite as a country and get through this, and we'll come out stronger on the other side. And that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, appreciate you guys sticking around. And until we talk to you next time, remember, life's short, live free. God bless you guys, and God bless America.
We're clear.
Clear.
Oh, fuckles.
Yep.